Tips for buying your first or next board, Part 1. With so many boards on the market today, it can be hard to separate the bandwagon brands from the ones that are actually dedicated to putting quality boards out on the market. In this first video of a 3-part series, we're offering some tips on how to choose your first or next board. But first, sauce the intro. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your gracious host, Marquita, CEO and creator of the Sauce Myself clothing brand. This is the first video of a 3-part series where we will be offering you some tips on purchasing your first or next board. It seems that within the last couple of years since X-Way released its budget-friendly but tech-savvy and sleek design Flex, that the floodgates have opened for many companies to try their hand at targeting the mid-budget consumer market. Brands such as Meepo, Backfire, and Wildgo, to name a few, have kept a steady grip on progressing and answering the lead in demand for quality and price-conscious boards, while others seem to fall flat and can't exactly stand the rain. So, how does one sift through all the riffraff? Well, without further ado, let's get started. Know what you need, not just what you want. Sometimes features and aesthetics can have you overcome with joy and overshadowing what's really important. Top speed is always fun. A flashy looking board is always cool, but don't forget about the practicality of your needs. Here's a few things to keep in mind. Maintenance. Depending on the drivetrain type, almost messed that up, whether it's hub, belt, or direct drive, each of these has their pros and cons and requires different levels of maintenance to keep your board running sharp. Type of use. Depending on how you plan to use your board, whether it's for leisure, commuting, racing, all of these will have some things that you'll need to take into consideration, such as the range, portability, comfortability, and the type of trucks. If you're more so riding for leisure, then you might be interested in having the type of truck that allows you to carve a bit more with ease. If you're going to be commuting, then you might be paying more attention to the range and portability. And if you're racing, you might be paying more attention to top speed, torque, and of course, stability. Jump right in or dip a toe. If you already have one board under your belt, you might be ready to hop onto a more performance stacked board. You probably have learned the basics and can handle yourself quite well. However, if you're new to the hobby and aren't sure if you might be sticking around, you may want to give yourself some time to get past the learning curve with an entry-level board. Having said that, just a quick side note, because I can already see it in the comments, it's really up to you. You know your limits, you know what you can do, but just remember to keep safety in mind. You can start on whichever type of board, level of board you like. Shred within your means. Boards range in price of 3 tiers: entry level, mid-premium, and premium. Each respectively has great options, so never feel like you have to have the highest price board. You can have fun with any board from any of these tiers. If you don't have the money to get the highest price board and you're falling in between mid-premium and entry level, more than okay. Either way, you're going to have fun. Again, Never feel like you have to get the most expensive board. But again, side note, because I know it might be in the comments, you can start with whatever price range you like. Just remember what's really important, and that's having fun. A running trend in the e-skate industry is companies claiming specs that don't necessarily align with the actual performance of the board. However, as an olive branch, a lot of companies are starting to recognize this and be more accountable and provide the most accurate information as possible. But even with that said, one still has to bear in mind the actual numbers. Yes, the actual numbers, meaning the actual kilovolts of the motors and the actual watt hours of the battery, and not just projected numbers for top speed or range. Other factors include weight, the size of the wheel, which together impact your top speed and range, as well as the wheel bearings and bushings, which affect your ride comfortability. The facts are, heavier riders tend to get less range, lighter riders tend to get a bit more range, larger wheels get you to your top speed a bit faster, but you compromise range, smaller wheels don't get you to the top speed as fast, but you get that range. And when it comes down to it, the power of the motor and the battery's capacity is what is going to help determine that board's overall performance. Overall, all in all, the facts are numbers don't lie. So make sure to get the actual numbers. Choose the right size board. There are 3 ways to go down this road: short board, long board, all terrain. Short boards are great for quick commutes, such as taking a quick trip to the grocery store or whizzing around the college campus due to its size and portability. Long boards are commonly used for long and short commutes as well as leisure rides. Due to the longer deck, these boards can also offer some additional comfortability. However, sometimes they may still prove to be a chore to drag around due to the size of the deck. However, they're still a great choice among many riders as they are still greatly capable to meet many of the average rider's needs. All-terrain boards are your monsters on wheels. Great for your rougher terrain areas and longer commutes. These boards are much heavier than the previous 2 types we discussed, which brings down portability considerably. However, more than likely you'll be able to go wherever you need to due to the all-terrain wheel types. Something that's just not as practical with your short or long boards. These wheels are much larger and cannot fit on your regular short or long boards. Although there are some long boards that claim to have all-terrain type wheels, and still they're not considered, in my eyes, like the legit all-terrain wheels. And even those that come on the long boards that claim to be all-terrain have their limitations, just so you know. That concludes our first video of our 3-part series, How to Choose Your First or Next Board Consumer Guide Crash Course. In this video, we uncovered 3 tips. The first one being knowing what you need, not just what you want. Number 2, knowing the facts, not the specs. Number 3, choosing the right board. In the next video of this series, we're going to be uncovering 3 more tips to assist you in making an informed buying decision. Before you go, I want to remind you to hit the like button, comment down below, hit the subscribe, share this video with someone that you would like to introduce to Skate. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time,